Hey, let's talk about some ribbing. Now, if you're knitting garments, you've probably knit some ribs, rib knitting, done some ribbing, knit some ribbing. Anyways, that can look many different ways, and different patterns will probably request you to knit those ribs up in different manners. So let's talk about what that can look like in a pattern and how does that translate into your knitting. So currently I'm working on my Paintbox yarn crop top, and the pattern calls for some twisted stitches in the ribbing around the bottom of both the front and back piece. I haven't looked far enough ahead. I'm sure it probably asks for something similar in the sleeves, but I'm not there yet. And I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about twisted stitches. Also, the cotton candy sweater that I am currently working on and almost finished does ask for a twisted knit as well in the ribbing. However, it asks for it a little differently. So I figured I'd talk about the different ways you may see it in a pattern and just how to do them. Once you see them, you're going to be like, oh, okay. But I'm telling you, the first time I saw especially the purl 1 through the back loop abbreviation in the Paintbox yarn pattern, my head was going, you want me to do what? This feels really weird, but okay. And it's right, it's what they're asking. You just may not see it very often. Feels a bit awkward at first. And so let's go through them. Okay, let's talk about this whole twisted knitting, and especially when it comes to ribbing. So a lot of patterns will ask you to twist some of the stitches with ribbing. And you may be asking, why is this necessary? I just usually follow the pattern because it's telling me to, but you would be like, does this really make a difference? And it does. What it does by twisting the stitch is it keeps it tight at the bottom of the stitch. And I actually could probably show some examples here because I mucked up and I didn't twist right here, and you can literally see the difference between these nice tight knit stitches and then right here they look loose, and that's because the bottom of the stitch is the standard open knit stitch and it didn't get twisted around to create a nice tight stitch. Now the tightness helps keep the ribbing literally that tight so it's not all falling open, and it just looks cleaner. It keeps it it probably holds its shape better. It does the job, especially in a garment like this. It just does its job a lot better. So I'm working the right side of the garment at the moment, and the right side asks that I purl as usual and that I knit through the back loop, or as it's written in the pattern, k1tbl. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw it written like this, it just, my mind went, what? I don't know what that is. Is that another language? It's literally a bunch of letters and there's a number in there. I have no idea what it means. And in this pattern, it's not even included in the abbreviation section of the pattern. So I couldn't even go look through the pattern instructions for some details on how to do it. Now, on another pattern, the same stitch is requested literally as knit 1 twisted. And it's just that. You're twisting the knit by knitting through the back loop. So what we're going to do is, with a standard knit, you're going to insert your needle through the front of the loop, right? You have the front and the back as it sits on your needle. You're going to insert through the front, yarn over, and then pull up. However, this is asking us to knit through the back loop. So I have my yarn at the back. I'm going to insert my needle through the back loop, yarn over, and pull up. Purl, because this is what my pattern's asking, and knit through the back loop. So enter, or put my needle through the back loop, yarn over, pull up, purl the next stitch, yarn to the back, through the back loop, pull up, yarn to the front, purl, back loop, and I'm just going to continue in this fashion until the end of my row. Okay, this is the back side of the ribbing, and on the wrong side of the ribbing, I am being asked to, or the maker is being asked to p1tbl, so purl one through the back loop. This one I have not come across before this pattern. This is the first pattern where I've been asked to do this, and it's, at first I was like, what? Because I literally was like, okay, purl one through the back loop. So I'm going to purl, but I'm like, through the back loop, how? And it feels really awkward because your needles will most likely point straight up to the sky. So here's my loop. This is my purl stitch. I want to purl through the back loop. So I'm going to go through the back. This gets a bit tricky. I'm going, oh wow. Yeah, it kind of helps with your yarn starting in front like a regular purl. So a regular purl is I would have my working yarn in front. I would insert my needle here, yarn over, and purl. However, I'm being asked to purl through the back loop. So I'm going to keep my, just, we're starting the same way. But this gets really awkward. I need to insert my needle through the back loop. There. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull up the loop and off. So we'll do it again. Now I'm ribbing, so my knit stitch is the same. So we're going to purl through the back loop. So I've just finished my knit stitch. I'm going to yarn over. My needles kind of twist up to the sky. I'm going to pull backwards or enter the back loop in the purl fashion, yarn over, exit out through the back, and pull off. Knit. Normal, and now this, because this is just the ribbing pattern for this piece. So twist my needles up. Now, see, I'm splitting my yarn there. I got to be careful of that. This yarn likes to split. Yarn over. Oh, see there? I don't know if you can see. I've kind of, when I entered, I didn't enter through the loop properly. So that I need to start all over because that's going to be a problem. There we go. Make sure I don't split my yarn as I go through. There we go. Now for me, oh my goodness. What I'm finding challenging sometimes about this, or kind of slightly frustrating, is this really slows down. I cannot do this stitch pattern or this stitch quickly. This one I have to focus on to not muck it up too bad. And this side is definitely slower. But that essentially is the purl one through the back loop. And that's kind of it from me on twisted stitches. So I hope you like this mini tutorial, slight explanation on a twisted stitch or a knit one through the back loop, purl one through the back loop. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw these requests, of course, I got a little bit stressed out. I panicked a little, I was a bit confused. So I hope this has helped you out, especially if it's your first time coming across these stitches, and don't be afraid of them. Give it a shot, give it a try. That's how you're going to learn, and that's how you're going to get better with them and understand how they work in a garment, understand how they work in a pattern, and kind of the purpose of them or the effect that they can give you. So from me and Mila, thanks for watching, and until next time.